So the first thing you're going to want to do is start your quinoa. And you're going to want to rinse your quinoa. I usually do 1 cup of quinoa for this salad. And you're going to want to rinse it under cool water for just a few seconds. You want to agitate it a little bit with your hand. That way you'll get all the saponin off, which is the bitter coating that's on the quinoa. So after a few seconds, looks like it's pretty clean. Just drain it the best you can. Doesn't have to be perfect. You'll go ahead and put it in your pot. And I usually like to use 1.5 cups of water per 1 cup of quinoa, depending on how firm you like it. And this will take about 15 minutes to cook. So you'll bring it up to a boil. Once the water's boiling, reduce it to a simmer, cover it, and let it cook for 15 minutes. And you'll check it frequently just to make sure all the water is absorbed. And while the quinoa is cooking, you're going to go ahead and make your Szechuan dressing. So you'll need 1/3 cup of water, which I usually just put it in a jar. You're going to add 2 tablespoons of miso paste. And you're going to want to whisk that up just to make sure all the miso paste gets dissolved. And then you're going to add 2 tablespoons of tamari, 2 tablespoons of Mirin, which is a Japanese cooking wine, 2 tablespoons of balsamic vinegar, a teaspoon of sesame oil, and 2 tablespoons of maple syrup. You could also use brown rice syrup if you happen to have that. And this is optional. If you want a little more spice, you can add a little bit of chili paste. And then you'll put all of those ingredients into your miso water. And this is the graduated cup that I use. It has 2 tablespoon markings on it, which makes it really easy. And then you'll just shake that up and set that aside. Now we're gonna get our tempeh going. So you'll put about a tablespoon or so of sesame oil in a hot pan. I usually turn that on about medium heat. And then you can get your tempeh prepped. The easiest thing to do is just cut it in slices and then turn it and go lengthwise. That way you have little cubes. And while your pan is heating up, you can start prepping your other fruits or vegetables that you're gonna wanna put in the salad. I'm shredding some carrot here. We had previously cleaned kale, so I do have some kale already in a bowl ready to go. We're gonna use some red onion, and I'm also gonna put some apple in this salad. But again, this can be really your preference on which vegetables that you like. And once you think your oil is hot, go ahead and put your tempeh in it. Just stir it around and make sure that all the tempeh is coated with the oil. And this will take about 10 minutes to brown. At this time, I would just check the quinoa to see if the water is absorbed. And then you can finish prepping the rest of your vegetables or fruits that you're going to put into your salad. Once your quinoa is done, if you're checking it, you'll just turn the fire off. Leave the lid on it because you want to keep that warm. The next step what we're going to do, once all of our vegetables are cut up, is we're going to put the quinoa on top of our kale. So once your tempeh is browned, go ahead and shake up your Szechuan sauce. And then you're just going to pour that in. It only takes a few minutes and that sauce will start to thicken up and almost caramelize around your tempeh. I usually don't pour quite all of it in at first. I wait till it starts getting cooked through, and then as it starts to thicken up, I usually will pour the rest of it in. You can see now it's starting to cook down, it's starting to get caramelized, and that's about what it will look like at the end. So we have our quinoa now. You're going to pour that over your kale. And this is really nice because the quinoa, since it's still hot, is going to steam your kale just a little bit. and cook it down. I do have a nice lid that I like to cover it and just let it steam for just a few minutes. And then once you think that the kale is cooked down enough, just give it another stir. And then you can go ahead and put your tempeh in. That should be ready to go. Make sure you get all the sauce out of your pan because that really adds a lot of flavor to your quinoa. And then you're going to want to give this a couple more stirs. This will again cook your kale down a little bit more. You can cover it for just a minute or two. You can see that looks like the kale is just barely cooked. And then you're going to put in the rest of your fruits and your vegetables and whatever other ingredients that you may want to add to the salad. And then you'll just give that another stir, get everything coated with the sauce. And I do like to add a few teaspoons of sesame seeds at the very end. Gives it a nice crunch and a little added nutrients. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. This really helps us out and allows us to keep producing the educational videos we enjoy. We hope you have a great day.